So I guess I'm going to have to do part 2 here. Where were we? 15. Or I'm going to 15. Find the area of the shaded region. Okay, so let's see. Leave the answer in terms of pi. I don't remember how to do this. Let's see. So I can find. Let's find the area of the square. The area of the square is simply 10 times 10, right? Because the base is 10, the height is 10. So the area of the square is 100 centimeters squared. Okay, so what I'm going to ask you to do right now is pretend for a second that this is shaded. Okay? Just pretend. And that this is also shaded. Okay? So let's find out the area of the circle. And the area of the circle is pi r squared. And the area of the circle would be pi, and what's the radius? Well, 10 is the diameter, right? So the radius would be 5, and we're going to leave it at 5 squared. And the area of the circle would be 25 pi. And actually, I'm not leaving it in terms of pi. Let me cross that out here. And if I multiply 25 times pi, I'm going to get 78.54, by the way, centimeters squared. So that's the area of the circle. Now, what I can do is I can subtract those two. If I subtract those two, guess what I'm going to have? I'm going to know what the area of these two blank parts are. Agreed? So if I take the area of the square, which is the whole thing, right? So imagine I had a square, and I cut two circles. Right? I draw a circle, two half circles, and I cut two half circles, which is one circle, and I cut it out. Let's see how much I would have left over. And the part that I have left, the part that I would have left over would be these two areas here, which would be the empty areas. So let's do that. So 100 minus 78.54 equals 21.46. So I know that this empty part right here, change color, this empty part and this empty part here, right? So if I had a square, so again, if I had a square and I don't know, and I cut half a circle from the bottom and half a circle from the top, or a full circle, I would have this much left over, 21.46. Okay, just hold on, bear with me, okay? So I now, if I erase that, I know how much this is. These two parts are also 21.46, correct? Right? Because they're exactly the same as this one and this one. So I know what that, so this is 21, so let me write that. This and this, is there, hang on a second, 21.46 divided by 4. Yeah, so I know that these two, okay, is 21.46, so those two combine 21.46, which make these two 21.46. Now, well, how does that help me? Because I want the area of the shaded region. Okay, now the shaded region is a full circle, right? So the shaded region, imagine, so I'm going to go back and shade this again. So imagine, and we already know what the area of that is. That's the area of a circle, right? And this is it, the area of a circle. But now I can subtract 21.46, which is these two parts, this part and this part, which have the same measurement as the left and right. So left and right, so I can left plus right equals 21.46, right? The area of the left and right, so which means the up and down is also 21.46. Okay, so in this case, 78.54 minus 21.46. 78.54 minus 21.46 equals 5708. So the area of the shaded region is 5708 centimeters squared. This one's a little bit tough. This one I gotta agree. Might give you a little challenge. Okay. 16, find the area of the shaded region. So we want the area of this whole thing. Okay. Yikes, how do I do this? The whole thing is shaded. So it's the area of two circles. And, okay, so here's what we need to do. So I need you to do this. I need you to go to the picture and draw this line right here. And I need you to go to this picture and draw this line right here. So now what do we have? We have a rectangle in the middle. We have a rectangle in the middle and two half circles on the side. So this, the area of the shaded region is the area of a rectangle plus the area of a circle. Oops, just put a circle of a circle, right? Isn't this, I'm going to put 1 over here and 2. Isn't 1 plus 2 half circle on the left side plus a half circle on the right side, a full circle? So basically this is just the area of a rectangle and the area of a circle. Well, the rectangle, it's, what is this? This is 20, it says. So it's 20. And they're telling us that the radius is 8. So from here to here is 8, which makes the diameter, the whole thing here, 16. So area of a rectangle is base times height, 20 times 16, or 320. The area of the circle, well, that's going to take a little bit more work. So area equals pi r squared. Area equals pi, and what's the radius? Radius is 8. 8 squared, and that's going to be 64 pi. We're going to change that. 64 times pi, and that's going to be 201.06 meters squared, and let's just add that. But the area of the rectangle plus the area of the square circle is 521.06 meters squared. Okay. I think the tough part here was can you see that there was a rectangle in there? And if you were to, and you could see that, then this becomes a really silly problem. Okay, so here we have two circles. Oh, we have 3 more problems. 2 circles. And we want, what is the distance between, all right, so we want the distance between this, let me put a point here, this and this distance, okay? How are we going to do that? So the circumference of the big circle is 48 centimeters. The circumference of the 12, we need to find the diameter, of course. So let's do the big circle. So the big circle, so the center is here. Okay. Let me erase this. So let me put a dot right in the middle because that's our center. So let's find the diameter of the big circle. Okay. So the big circle. Okay, big circle. It tells us that the circumference is 48. So C equals pi d. The circumference is 48, pi d. And the diameter, I'm going to divide that by pi, I'm going to divide that by pi. So the diameter of the big circle, 48 divided by pi, is 15.28. So I'm going to draw a diameter here. So from here all the way to here is 15.28. Okay, and then the small circle, let's find the take that back. The diameter is 15.28, which means the radius, sorry about that, okay, which means the radius is 7.64. So, of the big circle, the radius is 7.64. Okay? So that's the distance from here, the center, all the way to the edge. Now, I'm going to find, and I'm going to put it in green, this distance right here. which is the radius of the small circle. And if I subtract it from 7.64, we get our difference. So in the small circle, C equals pi d. The circumference is 12 centimeters. So 12 centimeters, pi d, and divide both sides by pi, and the diameter, 12 divided by pi, is 3.82, which means if I divide that by 2, I get the radius, and the radius is 1.91. So the radius, this green part of the small circle, is 1.91. Okay, and the radius of the big circle, which is from the center all the way to the edge, is 0.64. So if I subtract these two, I get the difference, or the distance, sorry, from the small circle to the big circle. So 7.64 minus 1.91 is 5.73 centimeters. Find the area period. So the last two. Okay, so pretty simple. Find the area of the shaded region. So in here we have a big circle, punch 2 holes, and whatever's left over is your area. Okay, so let's do it 19. Let's do it backwards. So the area of the big circle. Well, if that's 2, this is 2, that's 3, this is 3, right? So for the big circle, I want the radius. And the big circle, hang on a second. So the big circle, the diameter, what's the diameter? 3, 6, 8, 10. So the radius, so the diameter is 10, which means the radius is 5. Okay, for the big circle. So pi r squared, and pi times 5 squared, which is 25. And we're going to leave it in terms of pi, 25 pi for the big circle. Let's go to the medium. The medium circle, the radius is 3. So A equals pi times 3 squared. Area equals 9 pi. The tiny circle, small circle. A equals pi r squared, or A equals, in this case, the radius is 4, or sorry, the radius is 2, and 2 squared, right? 2 squared. Area equals 4 pi. So the big one's 25. I have to subtract 9 pi minus 4 pi. So the total, whatever left over, so the area that I'm interested in is 25 pi minus 9 pi minus 4 pi. So the final answer is 25 minus 13, which is 12. 12 pi unit squared. Okay, so I think it's super easy. 18, again, perimeter. Let's do area first. So the area is the area of the rectangle, right? So I want the part to the side, plus, and if you notice that if I take this, I'll call it 1, and I take this, which is 2, and I put those two together, it's half a circle. So the complete area of this would be area of the rectangle plus area of half a circle. That's it. Let's do the rectangle. The rectangle, this is 4. Well, if this whole thing is 10 and that's 4, that means this part is 6. Right? So the rectangle is a 4 by 6. So 4 times 6, and the area of the rectangle is 24. Let's figure out the area of half a circle. All right, so let me erase that. And we have a half a circle. Pi r squared. Pi r squared, what's radius is 4, right? So they tell us that this is 4, so that's the radius. So pi times 4 squared, pi times 16, and let's multiply 16 times pi, which equals 50.27. We add these two up, we get 74.27 centimeters squared. That's your area. So this a rectangle plus half a circle. Now the perimeter, again, you're gonna take your dog for a walk. Let's calculate this. So this is 4. I actually gonna put it over here. So you just walk 4. This, actually, you know what? Sorry. From here all the way down here, it's 10 centimeters. You just walked centimeters. Now, on this side too, there's another segment here. That's also 10 centimeters. Now we're missing these two parts right here. This curve and that curve. And you agree that's not the circumference of a full circle, but half a circle. Okay, so that's the distance around half a circle. So C equals pi d. C equals pi, and if the radius, which is 4, the radius for the diameter is 8. So 8 times pi, what's 8 times pi? 8 times pi is 25.13. 25.13, but we're interested in half of that. I'm going to divide that by 2. 25.13, I divide that by 2, and that's going to be 12.57. Oops. Divide that by 2, 12.57. So the circumference of half of a circle is 12.57. So you walked your dog, it's 10 centimeters plus the other 10 centimeters. It's 12.57. So the perimeter of that shape is 32.57 centimeters. That's it.